Okay, now we're at part two of our analysis of David now, and we're with Patricia Kirkman, who is a professional numerologist who is going to look at David's name and his numbers and even his birth date, and then she's going to give us an analysis here and see how it kind of. We'll see what she brings out. She's going to bring out things that I didn't bring out, but I'll bet you there's going to be some similarities here. Okay.
Okay. Well, David, your birthday, that 8/2 birthday, month and day, gives you a 10. That 10 says it deals with the one. Father figure. I'm picking up father figure issues around you, but also coming out of the mother figure as well, that sensitive side of yours. Now, you happen to be in a 2 personal year this year, so Mr. Sensitivity is the name that you go by this year. You have a 22-4 destiny number, so you're very direct. You like things done properly. You don't like it when people take shortcuts. You can, but they can't. Your idea of a shortcut is not always the same thing. The month and day of birth added was where we take a look at your achievement number. So you feel much more comfort when you're in charge. You don't like other people being in charge of you, around you, or to you. You can acknowledge if you
They're
agree.
incompetent.
I knew there was a reason.
Shall
you
I be
didn't like it.
direct? No.
No.
Okay. Sorry.
You're always direct.
Anyway, yeah.
All right. The given first name at birth is our physical self, where you live, where you work, what you do. The middle name is the emotional side, and the last name is the spiritual side, handed down through the generations. So what I'm looking for here is taking a look at what the letter value of all the letters in his name. And I do this little tic-tac-toe, and it tells me how many of what he has and how it relates to how he works with things. The first vowel, first consonant in a name, he's very direct. He likes things done his way. Doesn't like it when anybody else supersedes what he considers his opinion of things. But he has a 22-4 is his key to success. So he needs to be very detail-oriented to have things come about the way he wants it done. This D represents the number 4 as well. The DA says, I'm flexible as long as I'm doing it my way. Okay? So that has a lot of impact with you.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're taking a look at the rest of the letters, you have 3 4s in the first name. 4 says by the book, square. Don't screw around with it. It's got to be just right. That being said, since this is your physical self, everything you do feels to you that it's got to be done by the book. Doesn't matter what book, as long as it's your book. Okay? And that's how it bears out. What I'm looking at here is a combination of all the letters in the given name. This tells me how he affects or is affected by every number. This box here deals with the ego, self-esteem, and Dave has only a 2 there, and I'm saying only because this number usually can be quite high or much higher. This is the ego, this is the sensitive side. He's got a 2 and a 1. The sensitive side should always be lower than the ego, but neither one of these are big numbers. So it says that even though others may see you as headstrong, pushy, etc., you're very sensitive. What you've done is you put this John Wayne face on you so you can not face the world regardless of what's going on.
Correct.
So that's how that happens. This box here deals with communications and creativity. You have 4 in this box, which tells me that your work always needs to have something to do with creativity and or communication. You can't handle it when it doesn't work that way. And the flip side, which I find interesting, this is your work box. That has 3 in there, then that says, I need to communicate. So here you are, the communication box, it says it's got to be my work, and in the work box it says, I got to communicate and be creative. Makes a difference. Now, this is an area where I'm going to say is insufficient, because you only have 1 5 in your name. 5, the number 5 deals with change, accepting change, dealing with things as they're supposed to be. By whosever standards it may be.
That's why periodically I go by Dave.
Doesn't matter.
Because that would add another 5, would it not? Because of the E.
Yes, but it doesn't help.
would change?
Doesn't help you here.
Okay.
That wasn't on your birth certificate.
Correct.
This is your birth name. What this says to me is that you're extremely sensitive, and you try to put this, there you go with the John Wayne again. Nobody's going to see how you really feel.
Right.
And you go forward and you put yourself out there by what you know. And you take a look at everything going on around you. The ability to accept change is difficult, and yet you dress it up with your ability to communicate and how you lay that out there. This deals with family, this deals with relationships. One's more than enough. You're here to learn how to deal with what's going on. You're willing to give, share, take, but you'd like to get your fair share back. One and one makes 2. There's 1. Where's the other one? That's kind of how.
Yeah. Reciprocation.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. This deals with your spiritual side, learning side, teaching side. You have 1 there, which is more than enough. Tells me you've got a good head on your shoulders. You don't take crap from anybody because you already know how things are laid out. Even though we keep going back to Mr. Sensitivity here, that keeps adding to your need to camouflage because you don't want anyone to see that there's the least bit of fear, and I'll use the word fear, not that you're afraid of, but the fear of others seeing you less than who you know you are down deep.
Right.
This deals with your finances. You've got 0. That says that's a karmic lesson. You're here to learn how to deal with your finances, how to be chairman of the board instead of being under the board. Got it?
Got it.
So that is extremely important for you to work off of that one. As long as you know how to handle the numbers, you're fine. It's a question of, do you lead by example or do you pull back? Now, because there's 0 here, and it deals with your finances and being chairman of the board, doesn't mean that you don't have any. No, it just means that you would prefer to pull back sometimes, not let others be involved with what you have or see how you feel. You'd rather hold on to the key of it all, and you'll dish it out and deal with it on your terms, not theirs. This deals with what we do for the world at large. 1 is more than sufficient. You're there for everybody else, and you deal with it on one-on-one terms. So in looking at your overall chart here, very sensitive, impractical if you have to deal with change because you'll dig your heels in, put ruts in the ground by trying to pull you through something you don't want to do. And when you want to be in control, you decide whether it's really important or not. That's how you choose to look at it. Now, shows our karma, our strength and our weaknesses. So your biggest strength in your life deals with communication and work. And as long as you communicate what you feel and how you look at things, you're always going to feel you're okay. If anybody puts a stick in that wheel, look out, because you're not going to let anybody put you down for what you do and how you do it, nor are you going to, you may be somewhat charming about how they're responding to work or work-related issues, but it all depends on how you actually feel at that moment in time. Because right now you're in a 2 personal year, and that 2 personal year says I'm extremely sensitive this year, and that would be true from October of last year until the end of September of this year. The first 3 months of this year, up until December 31st, dealt with all kinds of communications and creativity going on. After the first of the year, you deal with the 2 all by itself, which says, I am very sensitive, I will be sensitive, don't step on my sensitivity, okay? So January would have been 3 months, so you would have been able to say the things you need to and get away with it, because that's a luck factor to go with it. 3s and 5s have a luck factor, so your ability to communicate is very strong here. So with looking at that, so the rest of the year, every month will have a reaction or relationship to you. January, as I said, deals with the 3. Every month you add to it until you come to 9, which would be July. Then you would start again with your 1 month in August, your 2-month in September, and October gives you a 3-month that you're going into, and that's where you start next year. That's where you start your coming year. So that 3 makes you ready to communicate, talk, and we know those are your strengths and weaknesses. Here, not the weakness, but the strength on both sides. If we take a look at the given name here, we see that this being the physical self, you're very rigid. It's got to be very black and white. This is who I am. I am David. I want it like this. Don't want it slight. It's got to be just right. Everything's got to line up. Okay, now I'm David. As soon as that moves, it takes away your insecurity, or makes you feel insecure because it's moved on you. The emotional side of you is just as strong as the character side. 7, you don't trust how you feel or how you're being told others feel until they prove otherwise. Okay? The given last name at birth, that's the name that's handed down through the generations, and that's how we respond to everything. This is the family trait. And this we look at the sensitive side, and family is very important to you. So if anybody takes and creates a problem within the family, that creates a problem within you, because there's that, yeah, come on down.
Bring it on.
Uh-huh. So that's where that works. Any questions?
No, I think it's pretty thorough.
And
Very
see
proud
how
of
well
me.
it fit with the things that Vesta was
I just
going
noticed
over.
something. Should that be 1, 2, 3, 4?
No,
That's all for me.
I was doing this because
I don't know whether it's, yeah.
no, I was
I'm just curious.
No, I was looking at how I was working with that part, because that's 3 is communication.
Okay.
That's why I was looking
Makes
at it.
sense.
There's that.
All right.
Other than that, you're stuck with it. That's what makes you
like
so anal.
I read the contract before I got
If
down
I
here.
put the other one
Sign
in
it,
there,
baby.
that makes you so headstrong and bullheaded that you'd be impossible to deal with.
Yeah, no.
No. And so by using the creative side with this, it adds more to it.
Makes sense to me.
Good.
Awesome.
There you go.
Very cool. Awesome. I can see why you've got the world's greatest numerologist added in there to
You
your
sweet
name.
talker, you.
Yeah.
I didn't put it there. Somebody else
In
did.
her
Oh,
own
yes,
little
she
world,
did.
Yeah, in my own
Yeah,
little world.
she's
Oh, sure.
awesome.
Put me down now.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Anything on
Thank
my
you.
terms, that's
That's
yeah,
right.
whatever.
Okay, go for it.
Well, thank you both.
You're welcome. Thank
I think that it did what we said. We kept hearing some of the similar things that I had said in the handwriting. Isn't that fascinating?
you. It is.
That
Everything fits. It fits like a
It
glove. I say,
does.
the birth name is your fingerprint all of your life. We can put other gloves over it. It camouflages it a little bit, but you can't get rid of what's there.
that's right.
And I did
Awesome.
have my chart done one at a time. All my planets are in laughter and joy.
Oh, well,
I know a little more about it.
and you hear you belong to the Optimist Club. Your writing's going
I've
uphill.
been a scout leader for 25 years.
Oh,
He
wow.
has to play with the kids.
Aw, well, that keeps you young, and that's great for a Leo anyway, because
Yeah,
yeah,
they need
so wonderful. Well, thank you very much, both of you. That's awesome.